No. Yeah, nigga. Let's get your asses in. Get embedded, niggas. If y'all can hear me, throw some thumbs up, say yes. Let me know you can hear me. That's you, Zarabel. You can hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Let a nigga know. All right, we're going to get into some shit. We're going to let this room get thick. Some little things on my mind, little thingy things. As you see, I'm not even getting out of bed no more. We won. Nah, I mean. We won. I promise you this shit is happening like this. Back of my neck looking dirty and gritty. I got my favorite peasy ass cover. I got a clean sheet. That's all a nigga need. That's all a nigga need. Got my Marvel right underneath behind me. That's actually all the whole family. We took a picture on the ride at Orlando, fighting aliens. Me and Khadija in the front, the boys in the back, getting shit done. Know what I mean? I was letting this room get big. Have a couple of messages. I'll take questions until I can't stomach the shit no more. We got 300 something. We gotta make them titties go fatter. Justin Black, give out some shout outs. Where we at? Pink sweater. Little Rock, Brock. What up, Little Rock, Brock? Little Rock is the truth. I love Little Rock. Message Goddess. Where's the next class? Like I said, the best thing, and I think I'm going to start a class soon, because now with Zoom technology, it took me out of the old mentality of, 20 per class waiting list time thing. It's just like whenever I decided to do them, because we could get up to 100 people. So I usually let a gang of people pile up. The most sweetest thing you could do for yourself is probably just get on the list. I'll confirm I got you, and I move you to a folder that will get dealt with the very next time class happens. If it's a timing thing, then, we'll try to figure out something. Well, I'm looking at this, looking at that. But that's really the best I could do. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this stuff so long, it's very exhausting. So I don't like doing them over and over and over again. It's so, I'm up the cycle like 40 something. And in the beginning, I did like 15 classes. I could do Saturdays classes, Sunday classes. We really get into it. I did this class over 100 times. So, I could go to sleep and do it. I've been in deep meditation doing it, in trance doing it. Well, zone the fuck out and still handling class.
Message.
So
Message.
That to say, I guess the best thing to do. Oh, my son said he bad. All right, Seth Horton. Thank you, brother. He made the party right. Sent me a little buck. That's good enough. Every little bit counts. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all trying. We getting Biden to pass the stimulus for you niggas out there. Y'all niggas need that stimulus. What up, Florida? Old Breeze. Peace from NYC. Miss Alma 999. What up, Miss Alma? My old stomping grounds. Hello, honey bee. What's up, honey bee? People in the house. Yes, yes, yes. See you guys coming. Yeah, man, crazy Conyers. That's up the block. Uh-oh. Conyers in the building. I got beef. I know who to call. Oh, man, this shit is killing me up in here. Whew. And why Bull City? Where we at? Okay, it's starting to pile up. We get into some shit. A little thing that I noticed. I think we need to, pay attention to these days. We ever on that quest to better yourself. We got to really understand, man. Shit ain't about human development, man. You lose sight of that shit, you lost sight of everything. Real fucking talk. This shit is about transformation. You feel me? This shit's about transformation. And you're not transforming yourself into a more courteous human. That's I'm getting a good funky ass place here. You're not transforming yourself into a better ass human. You're transferring yourself to what you are becoming outside of it. It qualifies or is explained through the entire Osirian story. Osiris, and not just him, in most mythologies, this transferred project, this you hear the story come up and repeat itself many times, many different ways. But since we all know this Egypt shit so easily, it's kind of easy to explain through that. And the Osirian body is what you're trying to gain. This body is not technically masculine or female. You got to remember, Bobby Hemmitt talked about it. I believe he said, I'm trying to think of the book, not the Dark Matter of Consciousness book by that black man. But anyway, where he goes into extensive detail, just got to look for Bobby Hemmitt work, which you should be knowing about anyway. He goes into extensive detail about Osiris once worshipped as a woman. And, later it became, this patriarchal thing. But really the ultimate idea is this no longer man or woman, but how they deal with that in the mythology is they separate the masculine and feminine later day into consorts. So, or set is some of the female attributes if you need it, if you're going to base this thing on vagina and penises. But ultimately, it's an androgynous transformation, and they'll tell you that you become all the gods. Let me get this leg thing. You become all the gods. So Osiris is the code. This Osirian body is a quantum body, a quantum shell. And there are times where that same quantum shell is, let me just shout out as much as I can to the people who are actually cash apping me. Thank you. Give a shout out. It's hard to navigate on these goddamn phones. All right. Let me get to my messages. A shout out to Philip Gilliam. I remember that name. I'm not sure if we ever met, but it sounds so familiar. Sent me a little something. Good looking, brother. That makes the day brighter. And all right, so the Osirian body is your new stomping ground. And it is connected to a particular light, a I don't know if to say it's a rare light as much as I can say it's a rare event or an event, a certain supernova event that gives off this light. So let's still call it rare. A certain supernova event happened as soon as they started telling you there was a pandemic. As soon as they started telling you, go in the house, boy, this ain't for you. Stay out the light. And that, of course, was the star Betelgeuse. Look up Betelgeuse and when it started to supernova and give off its light. Now, we dealt with this subject thoroughly, or I dealt with it thoroughly. And if you stuck with the lectures, all three of them, we dealt with it thoroughly. You dealt with it thoroughly. And ultimately, get a funky aim. When you get old, boy, you gotta pick your spot, boy. You lay in the wrong spot. It's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So we dealt with it thoroughly. And one of the things I found interesting after the supernova started happening, we took it back all the way to her book, which was in 2004, I think she released it. And she was talking about Betelgeuse supernovaing back in 2004. Or they noticed that it was releasing this phage, lambda, light bacteria particle into the universe. And she connected that to the pyramid text and the other books connected to the so-called Book of the Dead. The whole collective, where these stories were told over just with different deities sometimes and slight differences based upon the time, but nevertheless the same essence. As she told these stories and connected them to the science, which is why, to make it really quick, they separate science and religion. First is really science and spirituality was one, and that was the priesthood. They were the ultimate scientists because they were the ultimate spiritualists. But then spiritualists became religious and scientists became something that's happening new. Now, B.O.B had a podcast called Bobcast. And whatever it was it was right at the beginning of the pandemic because he was making so many jokes about it. So it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. We all sat down and I discussed with him and straightened out with him a lot of the controversial things. And what stuck with me the most is that they actually got Neil deGrasse Tyson to try to embarrass this boy. And Neil deGrasse Tyson ain't shit. So I pointed out, there's a book called Signs and Symbols of the Dogon. Stratton. Signs and Symbols of the Dogon, where he takes the Dogon symbols and signs for DNA, the universe, black holes, the spark of life, phage, lambda, light, and all of these things. And he puts up a chart side by side of what NASA either calls those things or the symbols. And NASA has the same symbols as the Dogon. That's no mistake. What that tells you absolutely clear. How Umar Johnson used to say it. unabashed. No, that's not the one they would say. What somebody's going to tape that shit? Unashamed Pan-African. They were unashamed, or whatever that shit was. Unashamed. Oh yeah, somebody. Let me give somebody some shout out. Y'all been hitting me off. Thank you, Ferdinand Pen. I don't want to say your last name. You gave your government. Thank you, Brian B. My man, Brian B. I know your name. Brian B. Thank you, you guys. Every little bit helps. I know we're in the pandemic. So, all right. So, where was I at? So, this says unashamed, unapologetically. Who said that? Christopher Fuchsia and Radu Supreme. Yes. NASA. Thank you, sweetie. Unapologetically. Thank you. I had two of these today. Yeah, you need another one. Okay. Thank you. Unapologetically, NASA used this. Let's even go a little back further at how this came about. There were some anthropologists who went to talk to the people of Mali. I think, or the people of Mali today are the Dogon. I'm not sure if they were still calling themselves Dogon then. Most likely they were. But they would do this ceremony every 50 years that was absolutely suspicious, terrific, and mysterious. Should have said mysterious more than suspicious. For the first time, the chief opened up to white men about what this is. And these white men were astonished at how much cosmology these old ashy-kneed niggas knew. And this is before the Hubble space telegraph, right? So when the Hubble space telescope was invented, turns out, how the hell did this Africans know so much detail about Sirius? How did they know? This became a mystery within itself and got attention of a lot of jive-ass turkeys coming to explain it. What you will find then, before there was a TV show, most of them, like the dude, damn, he's got a picture of Akhenaten on his book. I mean, I could go get it, but fuck that shit. Like I said, I'm on bed rest. My ass got an ice pack on it. What was that? Nevertheless,
got mail.
He was
got mail.
He was talking about aliens. Before they had an entire system of TV shows that gave them the excuse to show you hundreds of unexplained things about this planet. Once they pointed you and convinced you that aliens could possibly have done one thing, then they made you try to make you feel like aliens have done all things. You have done nothing but sit on this particular information, just come up with ceremonies, dances, because you're worshiping something, not that you're the creator. And though the Dogon said, this is who we are, this is where we came from, they said, bullshit. Akhenaten was an alien and so on and such. And the aliens taught the Dogons that.
You've got mail.
So the big deal is, in the Strand book, Signs and Symbols of the Dogon,
message.
He clearly puts side by side, the symbols that NASA uses today and the original African symbols. NASA unapologetically gets their cosmic information, the way they deal with cosmology, all that shit that they're regurgitating and feeding to you as a new religion of evolution, from black nigga science. Know that, and know it well, and know that Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm gonna give y'all shout outs. I know y'all been hitting me, I hear it. Neil deGrasse Tyson is nothing but a tool or an agent in the priesthood of the science mind. Jewel Pogram explained the difference of the circuits of your brain.
Message.
4 up is the higher circuits. We don't have to get there. Let's talk about the first 3. Reptilian, bee brain, and bird brain. The reptilian brain is the loner, fight or flight, likes to be by itself. The bee brain operates in the group, a group mentality. So he or she is at the PTA meetings, down at the church, or a gangbanger. They need to operate within that. That's a big portion of us. The bird brains are the intellects. The one, your sister who thought she was so great and went to college, while the rest of y'all and treat y'all like shit, and y'all really always go to her for money. The doctor, the lawyer, and all the thinkery. So once they understand these circuits should work together, and those are the lower humanity corresponding with the lower 3 chakras, but white people really can't get into that 4th one. They can get in, and Joe Pogram points it out, through drugs. So the LSD experiments of the 60s, why they planted Charles Manson in, and to really start shutting down the movement after they started discrediting the look. You know, he's a long hair, he's a hippie, he's a bum. So once they started there and created the separation, but these hippies weren't doing nothing. They started becoming African minded. They started to commune. They started to get naked. They started to dance, if you call that dancing. I'll give you some shout outs. They started to dance. I don't want to forget the path of thought. Like, they started to dance, if you could call that dancing. They were breastfeeding. They were sharing. They were love, not war. They were starting their pathway to becoming black people, because they have to become us before they can get their Osirian body. And they have to suffer as we suffered. You only can get what's great when you understand you have suffered. You must go through it. You must putrefy, germinate to become the flower. You must be crushed as coal is to become the diamond. So white people, you got a long way ahead of you, son. And y'all was almost there, was starting with the hippie movement. Then they put Charles Manson in there and said, now a hippie kills. This is what hippies get you. Then that was the end of the hippie movement. They found that people were tapping into that 4th circuit of the brain. We can get in that 4th circuit just off weed, but certain things naturally to us, certain people are built for that. Where they look weird to you, or would look weird. See, my son was built radiating from the 4th circuit of his brain. That's very tough in a young, dumb nigga world. It's a heart thing. At least 3 to 4 of his friends, as he grew up, about 3 or 4 he snuck in. 3 or 4 he managed to ask, could they live here? And, you know, they stayed for their time, whatever was going on with their parents and their life, and whatever step up we could give them, we gave them. You know, we knew them as babies as well. But he was, and my other son, not one. And when my younger son, went out into the world, what he would come back home and tell me was things I knew to be natural, how friends move on. He had a baby. So, you know, you move to the next level, but he's so connected in the heart. He's still talking about the good old days while they moved on. They're trying to move on with life. And I told them, once everyone starts establishing themselves, you'll probably find out that, you know, you probably find out that it's gonna be a new leg of chilling. And so, you know, things we know, just things we know. But because he operates from the fourth circuit of the brain, this is a little bit more devastating. He operates out the heart chakra. So it's clear after 2 years talking to him now, to protect himself, he's a little bit more distant and kind of curses his true power. And, you know, we had the conversation, you know, he's still going through it, that you were past all of that. Like, regressing is hiding it. Moving forward is still trying to have that same characteristic, but know how to manage it is the key. They can't get there. They need serious drugs to get over the hump. So they keep you in these animalistic states. This smug, egotistical bird brain, this gang banging ass, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, Antifa ass, Proud Boy argument. Those are B-brain niggas standing all outside. You ever look and be like, I could never do that shit because you don't have a B. What drives a nigga besides have some niggas agents, the owner of the Proud Boys or the leader already said he's an FBI informant and he was throwing names down. This is a fucking joke. They're just rallying up B-brain niggas. Some niggas that's got to march, write a fucking sign, go outside, get fucking Humpty humped over the head. Bam, he's out. It's a ridiculousness. But this is how they own and operate. So as me and B.O.B are doing the show, I bust that shit out. You know, and I showed how NASA unapologetically still stole your shit. Hands down. That's their symbol for DNA. Same one as the Dogon. That's their symbol for the black hole. Same one as the Dogon. And the Dogon shit is before the motherfuckers was in existence. Proof in the pudding. See, Neil deGrasse Tyson won't answer that. When shit started going left was the Mandela effect. How they get you off of that? How do they get you to question that? They don't say it's wrong. They just put out 10,000 more fake ones. So you have to decipher through an unimaginable amount of unapologetic ass dumb shit to finally see some shit that may wet your whistle or be authentic. So if you have to go that far, most people give up, especially if you're not really researching this. See, I'm a researcher, so I know how to wipe through it. Though it's tedious, I'm probably going to stay on that train a little bit longer. But imagine you just a guy, you know, you just a guy and somebody's like, yo, man, you know, check out the Mandela effect. And you watching this shit for about 15 minutes And it's a white bitch in college talking about, I thought I put mustard on my Frank. I know I put but there ain't no mustard on it. Like, they were doing dumb shit on that level. But there was a couple of things that were undeniable. And at the same time the Mandela effect was happening, there was all this flat earth controversy. It's not so much if it's flat or circle. I told you that. Either way is a prison. So you shouldn't waste your energy trying to fucking make that clear. You know what I'm saying? The real problem is you don't really know where you live at. No one's really thought about that. You don't really know. Then, I'm talking to a white boy. I knew him since when I was little, so I ran back into him. It was pitiful. He's a Trumper. I'm like, he's B-brain shit. So he's like, oh, it's round. I've seen it in a airplane. I said, all respect, dude. Maybe did you think you seen what you want to see? Because I know you don't know many niggas that do shit, but I flew to every state there was a black person. I went to that state. I've talked in every state there's a Negro and flew on many planes. I've looked outside the window and had window seats many times. And I really can't confirm that I seen nothing round. I can't confirm it. So because he couldn't chew that one up as some sort of nugget that he's better because he was on more planes than me, you kind of see him not really stand behind that statement because he didn't know. He only knows what he's been told. That's what's called mind control. That alone is enough to question. That alone is just enough to question. And that's all you really want. That was enough for me. That you get to understand your ignorances and what you kind of can depend on. So if you get it, look for the Bobcast and the one I'm on it. You'll love it if you didn't see it. Now, I'm gonna give these shout outs. So now that leads me to saying this. What is consciousness? Well, it's all the shit you've been doing, no doubt. You find out when, you find out what it is. It's about transformation. You found out who the Egyptians were black. It's actually called Hemitt and the Camites. Mm-hmm. You see, the when, what, who. But here's the real tricky one. The why. If y'all really want to know what occult science comes to, is the why. Go back and watch the second Matrix, because I know y'all watched that movie 4,000 times. There's probably times you gear up and say, oh man, I feel like watching the Matrix. Then you turn that old shit on me like, I don't feel like fucking with this shit. Now,
message.
Let me give some shout outs. Just remember, I'm on the Matrix, guys. I'm on the Matrix. Give some thank yous and some shout outs to Anthony J, Shamar M, Maurice H, Doris W, T Wells. Thank you guys. J Haygood, C Ward, Monique, thank you, love. Abdul Salam, thank you, brother. Prime Vice Studios, Thank you. Every little bit works. Fertile P. Brian B. We got our people. All right. Good looking, guys. I do appreciate that love. I really do. Peace to you guys. All right. So, Matrix. So, listen to the Merovingian when he first meets Morpheus. He tells him, you have a who, you have a what, you have a when. Those are your fucking instructions, and you just following instructions. And that's what every one of you niggas are doing. You have Bobby and our history guys telling you who, what, and when. There's speculation on why, but there's no solid, this is absolutely why. It's a generic, we're going to heaven. The closest we got is what the Kamites were saying. That is about evolution, which we got that one too. But why did we come down here to evolve? If we was all of this shit, King Jaffa Jofa, you could speculate why again. Well, we had to become our king, get something new, go back to the kingdom. That's logic talking, though, and still speculation. It's not a true why. So it really comes down to a why. Watch the second Matrix, and he's going to tell him, you got to but you don't know why you're doing any of this shit. But then the architect, vis-a-vis love, he gave him the why. And I told y'all monkey ass niggas, when Bobby Hemmitt came back, he just kept saying, panic is about love. Panic is all about love. It's love, it's love. I love you, I love you, I love you. And like I said, I thought that was stroke talk. I knew he was real, and I knew he meant what he said. He loved me. I love Bobby. That is my forever brother. Through universal travel, we are one. He is I, and I is him. And we are many. You understand what I'm saying? As we speak this truth to power, we are many. And we only try to speak from what's in the heart and let you be the judge of what you need. Not tell you what school I'm gonna make for you, what new fucking lifestyle I have that's better for you. I don't know how to tell you what good shit to eat. Choose a smart person who does that and let them do it for you. The occult is about opening your mind, not following a system. Not liking Baphomet because it's a cult. If it don't work for you, then fuck it. It don't work for you. Wipe your ass with it. It's just as sacred as you want to make it, or just as toilet tissue as you want to make it. You understand what I'm saying? This is the beautiful choice of the occult. That's the beautiful choice of the occult. That it allows, it frees your thinking for you to make choices. So, but at the same time,
Message.
you're making choices within the realm of what you studied. It still isn't a why. Bobby Hemmitt is ranting about this why. It's about love, about love, about love. He wouldn't stop. We did a tape.
Message.
The first tape he did since he was sick. I'm gonna give you your shout outs. The first tape he sent since he was sick, and he he expressed more love, as he expressed it as the absolute point is look through the archives of occult lectures, just like the one you're looking on now. For that first Bobby interview, it's up there. Go back. Not a Bobby lecture, but a Bobby interview. So go back a little bit and get that. So you can hear for yourself how much he harped on it. What I didn't realize until however long it's been, and we may be coming up on 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. He was telling me the why. I've been new, because people can't handle, they want to be spiritual. So everything that happened, everything's all spiritual. You know what I'm saying? When it really spiritual comes down to how deep they are spiritually, how much money they're getting, how much happiness in life is happening, not how much transformation, not how much mind expanding moments, but just really my boss isn't bothering me or my mixtape is going well. It's really just that pathetic and simple. So when Bobby had the stroke, yeah, he used to eat this, eat that, eat this. But then they'll tell you right on Wikipedia, most strokes come from stress. I'm sure diet could factor in. But no, me and him actually got sick at the same time. It was weird. He just didn't pull through. But even deeper than that, he didn't lecture for 2 years before he got sick. Because he was saying to me constantly, "Yo, Panic, I said everything I wanted to say." This is his words. I said everything I wanted to say. How many times can I connect Mayat to whatever the fuck is happening? I'm not lying. No, like he was real comfortable with that. He was real comfortable with passing the baton to me, which I didn't even really know he was doing. And he passed it to me, and I know for a fact everyone was always auditioning for him. But what they would do and where they would fuck up, and Bobby told me this, they sound like baby Bobbies. So I was speaking and always running my mouth in an insane way. And Bobby would promise or kind of say like, why, kind of nudge. And, I don't really want to do that. That's not, I'd rather just study. I'm making so much progress here, man. And like able to talk to him like that, you know what I'm saying? Able to talk to him like that, like, just at ease. And I get it now because that's how I feel with B.O.B. Like I said, B.O.B. is a sharp tack in the box. I can literally talk to him where I'm speaking in mind expanding language. Most people I talk to, I'm just repeating study. You know what I'm saying? Because, they're just really bleeding me for a bunch of shit they don't know. And even if he doesn't know it, he's willing to go read it and find it out on his own watch. But as things come to mind, things that are not even ready to be lectured about, because it's so profound and it's channels. And because if I start giving out channels, it gets into the believe me. So I try to be mindful of what my channels are and, get them in a position of take it if it works for you. If it doesn't, too bad. So he can hear that. And I now know how Bobby Hemmitt felt because that was the same mentality I had with him. Never once did I call him and say, "Bobby, can you explain that to me?" That wasn't the mentality. I would call him and say like, "Bobby, I'm dealing with this, that. Have you ever dealt with this, that?" Yes. And I read this. He would expand the scholarship. Yes. And I read this. And he knew the history of the author. This is how he made his bones. This is what he said in opposition. This is what he said here. This is what she said there. And that being said, it was like, okay, it saved me a lot of time of sifting through the bullshit for my study. He gave me a good thing to go on and still was able to have my perspective at the end of the day. Perfect. That's the sign of a true master teacher. You make teachers, you don't make students. And you ask B.O.B right now where he's at in his consciousness, he could fuck half you niggas up. I've seen that boy rise into some real shit because his mind was there. And that's one of the things I recognized. It wasn't about no rap music. I mean, he's so shocked at how I normalized him. Said, nigga, I helped invent half the shit you doing right now.
Message.
It's not only I'm just old, nigga. I'm old, nigga, and I'm from Queensbridge. I was Marley Marl's fucking intern. You know what I'm saying? I stuck under Marley Marl. Marley Marl got about 14,000 jobs. You know what I'm saying? For years. And I learned all the tricks. I learned all the dirty shit. I learned all them niggas. Shockley, Clark Kent, whoever the fuck ever was doing whatever. I was what they call an in-house programmer, meaning behind the scenes hitting them beats up and get work for hire. Let me give a shout out to some of these folks. Howard E, good looking brother. Jessica, thank you so much, baby. What's that? Chalatis. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, she's sending a nice little big bucks. Monica K, thank you. I love you too, Monica K. Edwin, peace, thank you. T. Buckley, good looking. Grateful for your learnings. Malik, I seen you in there. What up, Malik? Malik Moore, thank you, brother. Mahatmas on site, and my brother. Melissa T, what's up, baby? Lesser Fate, thank you, sweetie. T1388. Thank you. Even if T1388, you seem like a robot from the future. You know what I mean? From fucking, do you know John? What's his name? John Connor. T1388. Panic, I came to hear you talk. Sid, peace. Milton, peace. Sent me that Masonic number 33. What's up? Anthony J, what up? Shamar Morrison, what up? Maurice H. I might have shouted some of you out already, but hey, why not do it twice? D Whitlock, what up? T Wells. All right, guys. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your love. I really do. I really, really do. All right, so we're talking about the why. I'm telling you about Bobby. I'm telling you about a very rare relationship where you connect personally with a student. And Bobby made that connection with me. Bobby would call me every day, 3 times a day, because I didn't get it then. But once you get to a level where you're beyond books, you're beyond having to build with niggas. I wouldn't even know how to build with a nigga. I talk 5 hours off of one question. Like, what do you build with? What are we going to come to some common ground, like making shit up? And you know, I'm not trying to beat my own chest, but god damn, nigga, you get to a certain point where your mind takes over. It is no build, because every build is really for you. You've been tricked into thinking that you're supposed to be all getting along. It's nice if you do it, but that's a human thing. Spiritually, your mind has to reactivate. Your mind has to reactivate. Ain't no building no more. I'm beyond building. I can only lay concepts that you can't answer. And you should be doing the same for me. And the only thing we should see if these concepts intertwine, and then I guess you could say it's a build. But I'm not, last I checked, I'm not meeting any occultists out there. I ain't building no history majors. Building with no niggas that wrote a book and nobody knew about you. The only build is I sit with your ass and it's like me authenticating some shit you wrote that I ain't read. You didn't even offer to send it to me so I can read and then, hey, yo, this shit is fire. Let's sit down and build. So ain't none of that, know what I'm saying? But it's a rare thing when you catch a student that gets it on another level. You know you're passing something to them. Bobby did that for me, and I clearly doing that for B.O.B. Behind the scenes. It ain't about nothing special. It ain't about a new album. It's not about the earth being flat. It's really just dealing with the why. So the Merovingian talked about the why in that movie. And then they connected it with the architect. Your choices that you're making is different vis-a-vis love. So, all right. Bobby told me this whole he was about love. I clearly understood in hindsight because I was supposed to understand this later. After about a month and a half of him having his stroke, coming back, after about a month and a half of conversations we were still having, the only thing and he was there, man. We was even gossiping at one point because, you know, he missed out on some shit. So I'm giving him all the goodies, what niggas is doing, what the audacity of niggas. He's laughing, and you know, this nigga said that. This nigga got a video doing that. This was so hilarious. So he was there, and many other things and reasons he's shown he was there. And I said, Bobby, I was wondering something. I was doing this, what you think? And he said the words I've never thought I'd hear him say. I don't know. It's a difference. He was very humble because I've gotten him on the radio just to play a prank. Ask him what that means. And he'll say, you know, I don't know. So he would tell you when he didn't know. But the way he said this time, he said it with no passion behind it. He said it like he didn't care. I don't know. And I knew, oh my goodness. Because at the same time, he kept saying, and Linda kept saying, the Bobby Hemmitt that you know is gone. He made himself transcend. He didn't eat too many wings from Zaxby's and said stroke time. It wasn't like that. He sent Bobby Hemmitt that you know back home. This body's an avatar, niggas. Y'all need to get used to it. You have different personalities that exist within you. The avatar Brother Panic is gone. Brother Panic's gone. I still know him. You know, it's not crazy. I still know how to, you know, do whatever performance y'all used to see on tape. But generally, I feel like how I was when I was a kid. Thank you. May I have another? Sure, ma'am. May the odds be ever in your favor. B.O.B. hit me with that. He out here in these streets telling motherfuckers, may the odds be forever in your favor. You know the shit from Hunger Games. I said, yeah, that's a good one. That's how you say that shit. You know, I have a capital day. You have made minds brighter, legitimate, and much more intelligent just for speaking to you. All right, so you're gonna come wash my toilet on Tuesday? Sounds good. May the odds be forever in your favor. So, shout out to the healers. Let's get this healer energy going. This is who you don't want to fuck with, lady. Good doctor, Gregorio Hernandez. He's got a lot of information online. You should get him with a Trinity. Congo, I believe his name is. And what's the woman? There's a trinity of them. La Mahamadama. Is it Muhammadama, some shit like that. But or it might be yes. I remember, you can find out easy. Like I said, my thoughts are so beyond this old I don't even remember this shit no more. I don't need any altars, any statues. If you didn't go through that, I suggest your ass get to it, unless you are sophisticated enough to deal with what I'll bring up at the end of this, towards the end of this lecture. But this is Dr. Gregorio Hernandez. He's a healer. I know he look white. You'll find him in a black suit or white suit. You see me and my nigga matching. I just got another one. This is an energy you want to deal with. Healing energy. This is not just healing you from for your stinking ass ailments. This needs to heal you emotionally too. It needs to heal you here. It needs to heal your ego here, to chill it out, to reel it in. It needs solar plexus, anger. This is an emotional healer. These things have went into a different phase of reality for you. You got to understand these symbols mean everything. They mean everything. If you access and use them right, you are manipulating the keys of the universe. You're manipulating the keys of the universe. And this is most necessary in this time, because we have now pushed to the golden age. That light, that supernova light, Judy K. King talks about cosmic wind, and she connects it to the breath or the sneeze of Atum. So Atum, the builder, Ptah is the builder god, a creator god, Atum, either masturbates, explodes, and life begins all around. Was the Big Bang explodes, life begins all around. Or they say there's a sneeze, which is carried on the breath of Shu. Shu being wind. And so she decoded that to cosmic wind. And she explained how through cosmic wind, this phage lambda light is able to quickly get to all corners of this holographic universe that you're in. And when it happens, it is the light of transformation. Those of you who were in your karate stance at the ready, was waiting for your battery, this light is your battery. We, because of Bobby Hemmitt, have a true why. It's not all that shit about the demiurge. I'm starting to believe those are the tricks of the Matrix, to give you an enemy that you create in your own mind that keeps you locked here. Ooh. What you here to realize that there's nothing greater than love. Love is the message, nigga. Strike it up. Love is the message. You understand? It's no demiurge. It's no nigga waiting with a stick. You're not on lockdown. And I do believe you choose this. You are in Hunger Games. And there are 12 motherfucking factions. They're called the Zodiac. And what you are aiming to do with your zodiacal ass so deep. Oh, Pluto is connecting with Saturn in conjunct with Mercury in retrograde, and then the moon of Venus. And that's why my goddamn testicles are so goddamn big. Yeah, nigga. Oh, that's poppycock. Is it true? Perhaps. Yes. That's not the debate. if it's true or false, but you follow it like a Bible. You follow it like you submit to that too readily. The idea, I believe, is to explain to you human nature for the one sole reason of rising above what it is. I'm a Taurus. So you have a whole long line of positive attributes of Taurus and a whole long line of negative attributes of Taurus. The animal side, mind you, C. Freeman L. has talked about that every zodiac at one point was an animal. I remember him saying Libra was, whereas two scales used to be two scales over a back of a donkey. So each zodiac had an animal nature and a higher nature, which tells you whatever faction you're born into, you came to study that science. So your humanity is under the duress of Taurus, and your goal is to get into the higher attributes of this thing and know how to control the animal nature of Taurus. Stubborn, bullheaded, no change, not listening, always grunting, always ready to charge, always seeing red. You understand? Whatever. And then there's the hot. So these guys may study it and say, hey, he's a Taurus, that's why he's doing this. And that's all true. None of it's wrong. What I'm saying is, you have to become the 13 and get past that shit. That's why they were called 12 disciples, because you were to discipline them. So when I had my realization moment and was able to see who I really was the turning point of me being able to control what you call your lower nature, your animal self, your shadow personality, the guy you know that gave his shadow a name, Panic. I gave myself that name when I was 13. Once I started turning 13 and recognizing my environment was a ghetto, it was no longer just my playground to climb on shit. I'm seeing what it entails to live here, what the streets were turning into, what knockouts look like, what getting high felt like. Get a little pussy, huh, nigga? Trying to put urine on your fucking shit to make your shit grow. Any stupid thing of that day. And at the same time, I remember me developing in my head a character I was going to become named Panic, which became Brother Panic. And it was on the street like anybody else. It was ready to fight like anybody else. It was this, it was that, it was the other thing. But it wasn't a special thing. Is what we pretty much all do. Right? T, all them names they call you, know what I'm saying? All the names you have in here on this list here, those are shadows that you created. Your online shadows. Some of y'all probably had those names since you've been online. That's a character or an avatar. We do it all the time. That's what the movie Avatar is about. I'm going to get to that. Not today, nigga, but I'm going to get to that for you guys. But that's what Avatar is trying to tell you. That's why he went into a coffin each time. Because his personality is dying while he's trying to develop his true nature. Oh, I'm going to kill you with that. When I tell you this one element, it's going to fuck you up. You're going to say, wow, I never even seen that. So I'm going to save that for that. But real talk, it's the same thing with you. The guy named Larry stayed in the background. If people call me Larry, it'll be 3 times before I even turn my head. That's real shit. Larry. Panic, huh? I am Panic. Brother Panic was a performer who knew how to get his words across, where you're either entertained or fucking flabbergasted. So, like anything, if you go through these factions, which would be lifetimes, in the lifetime, I believe, if you have that turning point, that you mastered that zodiac, that's under your belt, Candace Aberdeen. May the odds be ever in your favor. But you must become the 13 or the Christios. That's how you leave the game. That's the middle point or the gateway. That's the cusp. It's a circle with a dot. It's telling you, you in the cusp. That's how you get out. I'm going to tell you some radical thinking. Forward thinking. See if your niggas can hang with this shit. I believe you really get trapped down here through photosynthesis, nigga. Just like we leave through the sun, what if these trees is the shit that's pulling you down here? Because trees eat light. You're a light being, son. And then, what's that dude that black people used to like? I don't hear him anymore. The bald black psychiatrist. What's his name? That's all right, Jazz Leon. You could be so white. You just do your best to become a nigga. What was his name? He started just charging people too much. No. He was talking conscious shit, and niggas started fucking with him. But his seminar, 2000, this Mitchell Gibson. Thank you. Somebody got it right. Mitchell Gibson. He said grass can evolve to whatever animal eats it. And then what animal eats that grass, that animal, that deer caught by a lion, can now evolve as it goes into the digestive system of the lion. It's a DNA, it's a process. And it gets doodled out in the world. Its essence or its spirit now can be born in the lion. So you got grass that was eaten by a grass-fed animal, and then a grass-eating only animal got eaten by a carnivorous animal. And then man eats that carnivorous animal, African niggas, and that animal now has the option of becoming human. Mitchell Gibson talked about it. So what if the fall is actually just the plants pulling you right out the sun through photosynthesis? And that's where you're first trapped. And you have to evolve back to becoming a human, and then evolve through the zodiac, because you came through the animal path now again. So you must come back to a higher path before you're ready to go out of this motherfucker. That's the process. Y'all ain't ready. I'll tell you some real channels of how we got down here. But that's, again, they're only channels. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, it's only channels of like Panic that just sounds, and just take it for what it's worth. Don't go writing a book or changing your life unless shit that was worth that much. But it's not meant to be for me. It's meant to ponder on things you ponder when you hide. You know what I'm saying? So now, where was I? The why. The why. The why has been the most important question, because simply after you get to a certain level, you're like, why? You don't really have a clear, detailed why. You speculate now, transformation, evolution, but we talked that we was all the gods and titans and all this shit before. Why would we have to evolve? Do you learn more? Then we would say, well, maybe you learn more with the experience when you do it, but you don't know. You don't know. And then there's so much contradictory shit. So, but what is clear though is ways out of this place to find out that why. To find out that why. You know what I'm saying? And then that takes you to what the oracle said on the bench. You already made the choice. Now it's time to find out why you made the choice to come down here. See, it was on that why. That why is the key, son. That's really when you get to a level where you answer the who, what, and when, and how satisfactory, because you could do that primarily with proof, history. The pyramids of tangibles. What, when, carbon dating is unconfusing, but the why. Bobby Hemmitt went and Bobby Hemmitt went.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Transcended his avatar to give the conscious community the answer. He was telling me to give it to him, but I would realize it in a later time. This time, when it's most important, when Beetlejuice is in the air. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Here's the important point of this shit, folk. With consciousness, and as we now understand the phage lambda light, mind you, great balls of fire, Judy K. King, I'm sure more than ever, this is information decoded that was stolen from us. I'm not so convinced that she just figured it all out. And if she did, again, she's only getting channels from us. We made it. We brought it. We broke. We buy. And she's done another work, Balls of Fire, a must see where she spreads more time on the phage lambda, how it works, the importance of your understanding of it in terms of how to will it through your body, if you will, how to know to look for it. She points out that the Kemites considered this light source our only last ancient ancestor that has the ability to transform our DNA. Now, I showed you in the Wizard of Oz that was symbolized by the red shoes. I showed you in the Wizard of Oz that the witch that got the house dropped on her had the same outfit that Beetlejuice had on her. Oh shit, nigga. You should have shit yourself when I said that. They were showing you, and in later day, Beetlejuice had on that suit to be consistent with the Wizard of Oz, because that's what she was a symbol of. This particular light source that has taken over this place, at least, and I'm sure others, as it's supernova. So listen closely, guys. Here's where you need to listen. Here's where you need to listen. The thing that came online with the phage lambda is your imagination. Your imagination is what has been stripped and put in the dream world. We thought it was messages from beyond, but it's messages from our own mind that's trapped behind a veil or a wall called sleep or the dream state. So, you have to do that work of lucid dreaming and astral traveling to lucid dreaming, so you can kind of interact and move the imagination if necessary try to move your hand in a dream and shit like that. And I've done that. That's old school shit. But ultimately, you're trying to get the dreamlike imagination in the waking state. In your wake state, your memories of grandma's house at this point should be so intense that you may have to open your eyes to see exactly where the fuck you at. And this is because, and if this is happening to you, that's because your body has already accepted the phage lambda bacteria. You've been truly infected. So that's why they got you wearing a mask. It's the bacteria, nigga. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Keep a mask on. Why microbiologists are telling you we live and thrive off of germs. The immune system exists to interact with germs. The more you stay away from germs, the weaker the immune system gets. So these masks are what got these niggas in the fucking hospital. Always let a little bit, always leave room in the nose. I'm breathing regular, not that carbon monoxide. I'm breathing regular because that phage lambda, and if you are subtle to the spiritual feeling, spiritual energy is subtle energy. Sometimes it may yell at you, but for the most part, you got to listen to the little things, nigga. The subtle things. And if you get that down packed, you know just when the air smells like the 70s. That's the detail you get. Not that, today is a nice day. No, this is when I used to walk out my building and the sun would just fucking grab you by the neck. It was just so clean, so pure, and so transformative. I didn't feel that since then. This was happening all last spring. I was feeling a certain kind of, and I was confirming it with others, but I was feeling a certain kind of subtle power in the wind that I had felt since childhood. You getting the feelings of childhood. You got to pause on those feelings. That's your imagination knocking at heaven's doors, trying to get back to your waking state. One of the greatest ways your imagination tries to get to your waking state, and every teacher is trained in stopping it. It's called daydreaming. When you daydream or start drifting or looking out the window, every report card I got, daydreams too much, heads in the clouds. And I'm like, she's never even talked to me about that in school. I don't even sit by the window. But they stop you from thinking like a child. Grow up. Stop. When are you going to stop acting like that? There's nobody in the closet. There's nothing under there. You playing in here and you talking like, grow up. So what they're doing is taking your imagination and putting it in what we call the dream world. And then it's harder for you to access how your mind chemistry works as a creator. So your dreams are so razzle-dazzle because your imagination is a creator. So it's trying to tell you a story within a art picture about your grandmother. It's not Brother Panic coming to your house when you have a dream about me. It's you coming to see me through your imagination and using your imagination for me to tell you the tale. That's why all of these little kid stories, Alice in Wonderland, are told the way they're told, from the realm of mystery and magic, and Dorothy, mystery and magic, because what they're trying to do is capture the essence of the imagination, which is your true ally that has been in prison. If you need a better word that makes it sound more professional for you, then that would be called That would be called visualization. Your ability to see, because without a human body, how do you think you create your home? How do you think you create the world you live in? Again, my favorite movie of bringing up, and there's no time I damn near don't bring this shit up, is Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. Listen to him and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s conversations about what happened when you die and how it works in the astral world. Robin Williams bought a painting, and he said at a flea market, and him and his wife hung it on their kitchen floor because they thought it was their idea of heaven. And that's where he was in his picture. And Cuba Gooding Jr. says, ironically, he says I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said, this is not like how you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is anything you think is real. If you want it, he said, kind of moving together with co-creating, but this is your creation. Hey, thought somebody was over there. Said, this is your creation. He said, this is your creation. You're doing this. So, but when we're here, I can get down with it. But he pretty much explained to him how, and he said it was ironic, everything you create is from your mind. That's how it's done. Easy as pie. He went and seen his daughter and had the realization about the world he was in was a toy on her nightstand she used to play with. He made the correlation and then said, wait a minute, and realized he was talking to her daughter, and the world she had built. The world she had built was based upon her childhood toy. So the worlds that you are going to, and each one of you niggas is gonna die. Somebody said, Panic, why not exchange with Zoe Williams, YouTube, for the people? Fuck people, nigga. Fuck, you need to know who I am. Give a fuck about the people. The people need to fucking go to the fucking library. I don't talk in terms of people. I talk in terms of individuals. You take this for what it is. Listen, I don't know. Nothing against anybody. I wish them luck. But this is not fucking entertainment, nigga. Why don't you get with fucking Cat Williams and drop some shit? Nigga, this ain't fucking rap collabos. You heard what the fuck I said, nigga? Get this, nigga. Get this. And I hope that brother is magnificent at what he does. I'm sure he's fucking incredible. But I'm not a people worker. People need to work for them. I am a people go fucking work for yourself for niggas. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, you don't know me enough to even say some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Panic, it should be Cat Williams and Kevin Hart. Then you go. You know what I'm saying? Then we throw Rich in that motherfucker and talk about alkaline water and shit. We sit around pontificating on nothing. Sitting around trying to see who's the deepest. Yeah, that's weak. Go to the fucking library. So bad now I'm giving out movies. Little motherfuckers go see something for themselves. You don't need all of this shit. You need to activate you for the people. Fuck these dead ass niggas out here. Fucking all they want to do is just have a chat room, get something to be excited about, and have a chat room to blab in, nigga, for people. Knock that off. And again, nothing against the brother. I'm sure he's magnificent. Very magnificent, I'm sure. I'm sure he's doing his thing. No grief, no nothing. I love it. If he's even enough to even say that on the brighter side of this, even enough to even say it on the brighter side, must mean he's doing his thing. And if something like that is meant to be, it'll happen organically, not just because we trying to pair each other up. Fucking Jay-Z and fucking Freeway and them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Nas and Mobb Deep do a new one. This ain't the rap game. All right, let's get back to it. So your imagination is actually being held hostage in the underworld as well. The phage lambda is that key that opens the door. So you should now be able to, if you're working the light before you make your transition out, visualize on a much more intense level. Imagination on an absolutely extreme, more intense level than you ever have. Message. Somebody still cash apping the brother. I'll give you shout out soon. So you should be able to imagine. I am finding I can think of any scenario, and the intensity of it is incredible. Visualization and imagination is how we're going to build ourselves out of here. And it is an individual action, an individual plight. It is not a group plight. It is not for the people. Fuck these motherfucking. You put a group of people together. All you did was herd some fucking animals. Black Lives Matter kind of shit, nigga. I ain't never came out with that message. Don't get me mixed up. You made a herd a few clips because some motherfucker took some shit. You better listen to the 5-hour lectures. Get the holistic picture of what the fuck I'm saying and doing. Ain't no bill. I just went through the whole thing. Bill time is over. For me. I don't know how to build no more. Because I'm not thinking on that level anymore. Not to say I'm better, just saying that's me. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker may be 10 times greater, and I accept that. But what you ask for is entertainment, and that's a fact. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like an entertain nigga. Bill Cosby and Eddie Murphy live. Shit ain't working, man. Fucking cornball ass nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Sitting there trying to outdo each other. Whenever I see these kind of things, that's all you really see. Then the words get deeper. Well, the pontification and ramifications of your objectifications illuminate the masturbatory mind, dare I say, encumbrance or circumference. Either way you look at it, pi, 314, you cut that down, you're looking at 4 over square. See, 4 over square will fly, you know what I'm saying? It returns back in and boom, you're at that core, melanin. You understand? See, that black dot goes a long way, don't it, nigga? Don't that black dot go a long way, nigga? Yeah, because it is the absolute justification, signification, immediation of all masters that have come before and all masters that had come after. Little lazy-eyed nigga tried to come to me. I said, you must open your eyes to reflect within, to see without, to see as above, so below, nigga. It's a 360-degree angular inner vision that turns into a light media of phage lambda style that will absolutely blow your ass out the frame, boy. But it really starts with that pathway within it. What you think I can't build with a nigga? Sit there and say all that stupid shit all day. Know what I'm saying? Stupid shit all day. Come on, man. And not saying I'm not, again, whoever the brother is, I don't know. This is no, I want y'all trying to, I want to keep saying it. And, you know, you niggas ain't that bright. People ain't that bright. So I don't want them to think I'm talking about this brother or whoever the brother is. I'm talking about the idea of that. And that idea is like, yo, I'm past that, dude. I mean, in 2004, you get on Eye Opener, documented. Plenty of takes was niggas sitting in a group. Shout out to my man Roswell. And they sample him on Beyonce and them, Black is King. Second part when Jay-Z comes and you hear that voice saying, breaking down chess, that's Roswell. He did a tape called Esoteric Chess. He used to sit around in the group and pontificate with us. Shout out to Pharaoh. To Pharaoh, I believe he's in Scotland getting another Pulitzer. And we build a couple of other brothers, Black Dot, of course, the regulars. And when you look at it, it's just absolutely niggas just talking about nothing, pontificating for an invisible people and did nothing. You can trust your mastery of looking behind you is the true way of looking in front of you as you are in the illusionary holographic bubble of the world that reverberates, turn inward on itself. Pi, mind over matter, as above, so below. The mind is all polaria. One side of the coin is the other side of the coin. But yeah, you have to say, do they interface as yin yang, or do they interface as the symbol of infinity? Because we're forever beings, brother. We're here forever, brother. Why are you on Earth? I don't know, nigga. I don't know. Why? I don't know. So you can be as deep as you want. You're gonna have to find that why. And I think we had a clue. Take it for what it's worth. Bobby Hemmitt was talking about that why. So the overall message is our imagination is back online. Our imagination is back online. And you need to start working on yours. If your light, I've already seen my new light body. When I go, all I have to do is slip in a cozy new pair of shoes. I've been through this before. This is how I do it. This is what I do. This is how we do it. Na 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 na. You got to get your groove on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I already seen mine. I know my quantum body is waiting. And I believe the phage connects to conscious light, inner light, hidden light, the hidden Osiris, which is inside of you. Oh yeah. It connects to that. And if you hadn't made the transition, it's still doing the work in the cusp for you based upon your conscious level. So now more than ever, I've been always telling you step by step, well, that's working for me. You know, that's the mentality, that's the best I got. It's working for me. See what happens when you do it, if you do it. And then figure something out or off of it or close to it. Because the general idea is such and such. The general idea right now is visualization and imagination. You got to get into remembering. You got to get into detailed meditation Transcendental meditation on its basic level. Again, you've heard many times, just as many times as this is true and shocking, you've heard many times people say this, and this is also true and shocking, that they think they're meditating wrong. They have an idea, or if you really ask them, have no fucking idea what meditating is. So I'll teach you like my father taught me as a 10-year-old and how he spoke it in a 10-year-old's language. Meditation is the ability to focus your mind on one thing. Your mind is an absolute runaway train. It thinks of many things at once. That's the nature of the ego. It must be nonstop because it's so insecure. It has to tell you at every moment it exists with a fucking thought, a thought of distraction, because the reality is it has nothing to give. Its only reason to exist is to exist. And it will exist by any means necessary. It's up to you to know how to put it to bed. It's up to you to know how to release certain aspects of the ego, certain general aspects of the ego, constant anger, constant rude, and so on and so forth. So now, I'm trying to think where I was going to go with that. Well, I forgot. But you're trying to give up these things because it's constant meditation, because it's constantly talking to you. So here's the technique my father showed us to start focusing on a singularity. Simply think of an apple. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, you going to the store? Okay, listen, I just need some straight sugar shit. Like which store you go, Publix? I'll get a couple of cases of soda. Yeah, Pepsi and some red. Yeah, and yeah, something. If you find a good snack, some donuts or something like that. Thank you, little girl. So, all right. So, what he showed us was, or told us, was to think of an apple. And even at the young age of 10, you've held an apple in your hand over 100 times. Feel it in your hand. That's easy. And then smell it. Rub it across your face. You're supposed to be trying to feel the detail of this with your mind. Smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it. Well, touch it is feel it. I'm missing. Smell, taste, touch. All five senses. You can tell I'm starting to get tired. So what we were doing, because it was such, you thought he was sitting us down to learn some old impossible shit. It was easy to do that. And what he was doing was showing us how to think of one simple thing. And as you fast forward, I kept doing it until age 16. I asked him again, what the fuck are we doing this for? He almost dropped the cigarette in his lap. You still meditate? He thought it was a failed project. You still meditate? I was like, yeah. And I said, the only thing that happens when I close my eyes, the scene moves, like this. I said, I do that at will. I said, I could talk to you and do that. I'm already in alpha state. You just make your breaths deeper and see what comes to mind. For me, a song comes to mind, that Kanye song. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Kanye did it for that twin, Pusha T. What you need? What you need? Don't like it, but heard it a couple of times. But it's a chant. So my mind tells me where it wants to go. And I stay there. I stay there now. Then that's when visions start coming.